No. Put your claws away.
I'm gonna have to displace you, cat. Back up in my chair.
She put her chin on the table because she knows she's not allowed on the table. She was like, what are you going to do about it?
Hey friends, you're watching BrainStormAcres. I'm Henry.
And I'm Irene.
It's been a 7-hour day so far for me, and it's 6 o'clock at night.
Oh, I tell you, this month has been quite the challenge.
Generator number 3.
Yesterday afternoon, quit working, hard quit. It was, once again, a carbon monoxide detector, sensor. I mean, the darn thing's outside. It's not like...
It's open. There's nothing to contain any exhaust gases in around it. So
anything.
I went down and exchanged one that was failing for...
Yeah, and it was dead because you couldn't, even if
it wouldn't start.
Even if you turned it off and let it sit for a while and then turned it back on, it still wouldn't start.
So that was number 3 generator and number 3 sets of wiring, and it was all different. So hopefully this is the last one that we have to try.
Yeah, I'd like this one to last like 5 years. That would be cool. I know it's not going to happen, but...
5 months maybe?
Well, it has to be within warranty when it dies.
Oh, well, the price of the extended warranty changed. So now instead of having 1 year, we now have 2 years.
Okay.
They extended our 1-year warranty to a 2-year warranty. No charge.
I think they felt sorry for us.
Well, the woman who was taking care of me today was the same woman who was at checkout when I got the last one. And at the time that she was going to carry that out to the car, I told her, that's not a really good idea. And she carried out the car, and she put it in the car, and she was the person who took care of the exchange today. And she looked at me and said, oh no.
You're back.
Oh, yes. I said, that's number 3.
Yeah, yeah. But we did have our duckies in a row, so I had packages for him to take to the post office. And
all 5 of them, which is great.
Yeah, so that was hopefully, I don't want to say hopefully nobody will buy anything before Friday afternoon, because we cut off Friday. We don't have mail service in town here on Saturday. We would have to drive down to Chino in order, and we have done that in an emergency with somebody who said, oh my gosh, I need this really quickly. I'll, kiss your toes from now on or something. If you but the world is mud out there right now. Sometimes when it's really muddy, we will choose to go out early in the morning and then risk life and limb coming back. But at least you didn't have to risk life and limb both ways.
So this has been the story of my life for the past, I guess, 5 or 6 weeks. So hopefully this will be the last time I have to go out like this. We ran a different generator yesterday and last evening because we needed to, because it had been overcast for days.
Days and days. So we ran the one that sucks gas.
Yeah, well, it burns about 2 gallons of fuel an hour,
right,
versus about 3 gallons for 11 hours in this generator.
Yeah.
Because we really don't need that much power. But if you're going to be running out of battery, at least battery capacity, you have to do something. So we burned a lot of fuel yesterday.
Yeah, well, we had freezing rain with cornball snow again last night. I guess you could say we were lucky this week because we had bands of rain and snow coming through, and it was just a little bit too warm for the snow to really stick. We're figuring we would have had at least 2 feet of snow, maybe more, if the snow had all stuck. I'm gearing up right now for Chinese New Year.
Yeah, that comes this month, doesn't it?
Yes, starts on the 22nd. The Chinese people will get off the 21st through the 27th, I think. So I'm working on my recipes.
Hey, you may have noticed in one of our recent shows that Irene and I went out and removed a lot of weeds from a couple of our beds that we let lie fallow last year. Unfortunately, we had a bunch of grass get in it, but we have some cardboard down it. But we're going to do
sogs beautifully in there now. It's wonderful.
So we're going to do something different with those beds.
Yeah, we're going to not plant vegetables in there anymore.
Why not?
Because we're going to put perennials in there instead.
Perennials?
Yeah. We took, well, I think if you're serious, and I see a bunch of other homesteader type groups doing the same thing this year, they're reassessing what they're growing, and they're deciding, a couple of the families that where the kids are mostly gone and stuff like that, they're going, why are we growing enough for an army? You know?
Yeah, if you don't have an army, you don't plan provisions for an army.
Right. And it's nice to always have extra. I always like to have more than enough, say tomato sauce for instance, to get me through the year and at least halfway into the next year. That way, oh, I could take up snow. That way if we have a failed crop or a smaller crop or whatever happens, it's not the end of the world. You still have enough tomato sauce for the next time. But right now we're still using, we've just gotten into 2021 tomato sauce. And I did put up some last year. We have plenty of tomato sauce, so we're looking actively at what are we going to grow this year. And we did spend some time talking about it this week.
Yeah, well, we're going to be putting, I think, a total of 3 beds into some perennials.
Yes.
And that means that we have other beds that we could grow other vegetables in. And we did sit down and talk about what we had for inventory for seeds.
Right.
And went looking to find a source of seeds for some things that we were planning to grow. Now, we sat down and talked about what worked well for us last year.
Right.
And of course, we knew what worked well for us the year before.
Right.
But you found there were some things that were no longer available from the sources that we've been using.
For many sources, as far as I can tell. I haven't quested on the entire internet yet, but I am hesitant to do so.
Let's not buy from an eBay supplier this time.
Well, I did once, and it did work, but I don't like to. I would buy roots from an eBay supplier of certain types of things, but in general, my seeds, I want to make sure that they are not contaminated in any way.
Now, what do you mean by contaminated?
There are soil-borne pathogens that you can bring in with plants.
Well, you can get some really nasty diseases, like you can get club root for many different kinds of brassicas,
Right.
which you don't want to have come in.
Even things like nematodes can come in with plants. That's why there is a big fussiness in some states about importing trees and other things, and that's why most of your trees and strawberries and things like that come as bare root, because without the soil on there, you've eliminated a huge percentage of the possibility of contamination. There's fungal diseases that can come in, there's nematodes that can come in, there's bugs that can come in. So but by literally washing the roots and making sure that they pass, agricultural inspection, they eliminate a lot of the chances for contamination.
Yeah, we trialed a couple of new varieties of tomatoes this past year, and we have some that we've decided we are definitely going to continue growing.
Yeah, and we're going to eliminate some of our older ones, I think. We don't need an army's worth of tomatoes. We like having,
You sure?
Yes, we like having as many tomato sandwiches and BLTs as we want during the summer without having to sit there and go, oh, I need to save that for this other day. No, I want to be able to have it when I want to be able to. That's the luxury of growing your own. There's 2 tomatoes that stand out in my mind this year. And they've stood out in a lot of other people's minds too, I think, who tried the same varieties. The one that really stands out is a big beef style tomato called the Huskinator, and it is available only from Haas Tools, as far as I know. It is amazing. It is super prolific, very resistant to splitting and stuff like that, which is something that a lot of big beef style or beefsteak style tomatoes have as a problem.
But the best part of it is it tastes like a great tomato.
Oh yeah, it's an awesome tomato and super prolific. So win-win. One of the dwarf tomato plants that we tried, we also really enjoyed.
That was a
Red Robin.
Red Robin.
Red Robin. I tried 3. I only had 2 survive. I don't know what happened with the third one there. And I will try the third one again this year because I do want to trial it and see what's going on with it.
No, I like the Red Robin, but I wasn't really overly enthusiastic about the
canary yellow, yeah. They recommend that if you're especially if you're a small salesperson and you're doing farmers markets and stuff like that, a lot of times when you go to the grocery store, you'll see the same thing. It'll be a little basket and it'll have multicolored tomatoes in it. So if you get the red robin, the canary yellow, and the rose something or another, it creates this great color combo. We were very pleased with the red robin. It was incredibly prolific.
Yeah, it was surprising, actually.
Yeah, I mean, you get this tiny little plant. It fits very comfortably in a bucket.
So we're going to grow that one again.
Definitely going to grow that one again. I don't know if we'll grow the canary one. We will.
I'm not really interested in that.
It's got kind of a slightly lemony flavor to it, which, if I were doing lots and lots of mixed salads, I think that would make sense because it is nice to have a variety of flavors and stuff, but it's kind of not the way we eat.
There's other flavors we can put into a salad that
Yeah.
aren't just tomatoes. So-
Right.
And we grow a lot of that, so,
Yeah, so-
why not go ahead and
Yeah.
use the other
Right.
produce?
I will retry the one that we did not have.
I don't remember the
year.
name of that one.
It's. I'll have you put it up. I know the name of it. It's on my list of stuff. The one thing I was really bummed about when I went to go look for stuff, our very, very favorite type of broccoli, which is actually considered to be a baby broccoli, is Atlantis.
It puts out a lot of side shoots.
Yeah, you get one decent head that's only about that big.
It's a small fraction of what you'd get from
Right.
one of the, like, emerald or one
Yes.
of those larger
Yes.
broccolis.
But you get like hundreds. I mean, my first plant last year we had it for Thanksgiving, and it produced all the way through like May. So it finally got too ratty, like at the very end of the winter season. But it was huge, wonderful.
The really
sweet.
the really great thing about that broccoli is that you do get this nice head.
Mm-hmm.
One or two of those make a really large serving for two people.
Right.
But then once you take that main piece off, then
Side
you can
shoots
get these
all over
side
the
shoots.
place.
And you get a continuous supply of them,
Yeah.
so you can continue having fresh broccoli by clipping off those side shoots.
Yeah, and it's discontinued. So what I did was I went through their list of other varieties, recommended varieties, basically, and I chose something that sounds similar.
Now, who did we buy that one from?
That's from Johnny's Select Seeds.
Yeah, sometimes that happens.
It does, and impossible to know why. They don't usually tell you. If it's a crop failure, they'll tell you. But if it's just discontinued, it's usually discontinued because they have found other varieties that they think will perform better for their customers, because they don't just deal with home gardeners. They do a lot of truck farming stuff. So they deal with a lot of people who have small farms that are providing vegetables for local restaurants, the kind of the farm to table restaurants, or selling at farmers markets.
They also do a lot of flowers.
Yes, cut flowers. They have a very significant cut. Whoa, startled me. Hi, you're not supposed to be on the table ever. You know that. Yeah. Hi.
Okay, let's put her down so we can continue talking.
Yeah.
That shouldn't get me.
Yeah, really. Can you push her through? There we go.
All right, Kat. You've had your cameo. You know what? Just sit there.
She says, do what? Just sit there?
Just sit there.
I can't cooperate. I'm a cat.
Now, our favorite green bean last year, and I think the year before, was Provider.
Yeah. Provider has proved to be, even when the plants were very badly decimated by rodents and everything else, they still managed to produce. So I'm definitely going to go Provider again. And I'll do a show in the next day or two where I go through all the details of each type of thing.
Now, you may have recalled that we also like growing a yellow bean.
Right. We used to grow Carson, and Carson is extremely hard to come by. Has been a huge number of crop failures in the last 10 years. So I actually have a different variety that I will be growing, because I like to have at least a small patch of yellow. It's just nice to have a variation in flavor, that's all. I am also going to grow red noodle again this year. I really like red noodle, and I want to try growing red noodle in the greenhouse. It is an Asian bean, which means it produces, they call them yard-long beans. They're not really a yard long, but they are frequently 18 inches long. Really like the flavor. It's definitely different. We've tried multiple types of yard-long beans over the years, and we like this one the best because it's red and it's kind of cool. You know, you lose the red for most things when you cook them, but it's still delicious and it's great in stir fry and stuff like that. So it's a real addition to our collection of things that we can stick in the stir fry. So I'm going to try that one this year in the greenhouse.
Now, we're not going to try growing husk cherries in a large quantity this year.
No, I have to decide what I'm going to do about that. We have found that husk cherries are a huge draw for cucumber beetles.
Unbelievable draw, actually.
I mean, even in the greenhouse, we wound up with cucumber beetles in the greenhouse. Now, we're not an airtight greenhouse. We don't have screens on our vents or anything else
And we
like
definitely
that.
aren't thrip-proof.
No, we're not thrip proof either. In fact, I'm going to spray for thrips again this year and see if I can knock them down before they start. I've got a new thing to try on that.
So what else are we going to try this year that we didn't try last year? And what are we going to get rid of that we grew last year and the year before that we're not going to grow in 2023?
Well, I'm going to be doing a lot of switching up on the tomatoes, and I'll have to do a separate video on that talking about the details of that. Basically, we have a lot of what I call residual tomatoes that are left over from when we used to plant mostly out in the yard. Some of those do well in the greenhouse, but we're asking that eternal question, do I need to grow enough for an army?
You know, the only one that I really want to make sure we grow, besides the plum style, besides the plum style and the Hasanator, is the Amanda Orange.
Oh yeah, well we'll definitely grow Amanda Orange. That's a permanent fixture in our collection.
Isa's trying to tell us that we have to wrap this up because she wants something.
She says, I want Mom to go sit down and watch TV so that I can sit on her lap and go to sleep. But Mom's got other things to do. So
What else do we want to cover?
like I said, I'm going to do a separate video. I've got lists of the plants that we will be growing. We're going to be shifting things around a little bit again this year. We're trying to make things, and this has been a common theme in a bunch of homesteaders this year, trying to make things a little bit more fun. We've been working really hard the last couple of years.
We used to do 10 or 12 events a year for
Right.
Irene's business, and we've narrowed it down for before the pandemic hit. We had
Right.
reduced it down to, I think, 5 or 6,
Right.
and then we've winnowed that down further.
A little bit more.
One of the things that happens during pandemics, people don't go to events. Sometimes the organizations don't hold them for a whole lot of reasons, but once people get out of the habit of going, they're out of the habit of going.
Right. We're going to a new event.
We're going to Phoenix. It'll be a great time. Unfortunately, it's Arizona weather, which means it could be anywhere from, I've been to that area when the temperature has been in the mid-20s at night at
Yeah.
the same time of year.
Yeah.
It's also been 80, 90 degrees during the day, so you can have some really, really interesting
So
weather.
we're watching the weather right now to see what might happen. It's a good warm-up for the year. We have a very important large event in Pennsylvania this year. It's a 50-year anniversary for that event. So I expect every creature on the planet to crawl out from under their rock and arrive. And some of that will be really awesome because we'll get to see some people we haven't seen in a while.
A long while.
Yeah.
Irene's been spending every night doing
Something.
handwork on the sofa while we're watching our YouTube friends.
Yeah.
She's been working in the studio while I've been going to get generators.
Yeah, and do other things too. You know, he's running errands and getting groceries and picking up prescriptions and all that other happy stuff.
Every one of those trips is at least a 3-hour routine. Sometimes it's 5, 6, 7, 8 hours.
Yeah.
So that's one of the joys of living in rural America in an off-grid environment where people are going to be far apart and a long distance from major cities.
Right.
But we chose it.
Yeah, we chose it. We didn't understand it completely, but we've lived in the country before.
And we've actually lived off-grid. All of that will be a topic for a future video. Irene has a lot of stuff to talk about when it comes to the garden, and we just got a new tool for her business that we weren't expecting until around the 30th of January. So I'm really glad it came in, but now we have to go look at it because we have a limited amount of time to evaluate it.
Yeah, we have to see if it'll work, first of all. since 2023 has not been the year of things working correctly, we have to make sure it works. And then we have to see if I can use it now or if whether I need to just wait. We had originally planned, because it was coming in literally right before we left, we had originally planned to kind of ignore it until we got back.
Can't ignore it now.
No, it arrived today. So we'll have to figure that one out. I know of several things I would really like to try it on because they're things that are hard to cast. And it could make the difference in my ability to cast some things more easily.
So, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications because we have a lot of stuff going on and more stuff to come.
Yes, yes. So, until next time, bye.
Bye. Don't forget to brainstorm.
Yeah, obviously we are. I can't believe the cat was good. She actually went over there and laid down on the blankie, and she's
I wouldn't
watching
call her
herself.
good.
Well, sometimes she's persistent.
She's a porcupine when I was taking her off my lap.
Yeah, she was a porcupine on my lap too, but she did not persist. So that's good.
Let sleeping cats lie.
Exactly.